Hi Palians, and welcome to another decorating video. Today I'm going to show you how I created the flower ceiling that you see behind me here. Now there are many ways to do this. It depends on what you're trying to cover, what will be the best approach for you. I'm just going to go over what I found to be the most simple way that can be scaled to most size ceilings. This is another example of a garden ceiling that I did. You can add whatever you would like. You can see I used the flames here. In the house I had used the fountain upside down. You can get really creative with this, so I'm excited to see how you all take this simple tutorial and make it better. Before I get started, I want to let you know this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial that you can follow along with me to create your ceiling. However, if you just want the basics, I will make a short and post that in the description below if you prefer to watch that instead of following along. So for the most part, this is everything that you will need to make it through. 2 to 3 boxes, we're just going to use those as a ladder, 2 walls, 2 poles, a shelf, and then your decorations or flowers, and then however many floor tiles you need for your room. In this tutorial, I'm going to be making a ceiling for a medium room, so I have 16 floor pieces, but depending on the size of the room, you'll need a different amount of floor tiles. I'll show you a little trick to that here soon. Also, you do not need to use wood. If you prefer a different style building block, you can use those too. I'm just using wood because it blends in with the ceiling that's already currently there. So the first step is taking both of the walls and setting them on top of each other like you see here. I'm using the industrial wall shelf just because I think it's the most sleek, clean looking one. It's easy to move around, so we'll place that there with a pillar on top of it. And then I am going to take the other pillar and set it down away from the build because we need that out of our pockets for later. Now, as I said, we need to know how big we want this to be, and that's going to depend on your room. So to check how many floor tiles we're going to need, you can go into the room that you're going to be creating the ceiling for. We're going to go ahead and set these down, and it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to blend in pretty well. So you can see here I determined that I need a 4x4 for this medium-sized room. So before I start placing the floor tiles, we're going to take the shelf and rotate it with the pillar on it, like so. And then the next part is a little tricky, so you're going to want to watch closely because if this one piece doesn't fit on the pillar correctly, you might have to start over if you decorate before you fix it, and I'm for sure telling you that from experience. So I did end up grabbing another block so I could get up a little bit higher. You can see here you don't want it clipping into the wall. You want to turn off the grid so that it is on the pillar like that. So that is how you're going to want it. You're not going to want it where it's clipping in. Then we're going to go ahead and go up on top. You can see where the pillar is here. This is important to note because it is in this build going to be visible. So I kind of want it to be over in the corner. So I'm going to build my ceiling all the way out to one side so that the pillar is more in the corner than in the middle of the room, if that makes sense. However you want the floor to be laid out would depend on the build that you are doing. So we're going to lay out the 4x4 floor here, and then the next step is to just decorate it however you would like. I decided to try the blue lights in this. I wasn't sure if they were going to look good, but wanted to try those out with the blue flowers. This is the fun part, so really take your time, but do not take the pillar off of the shelf until you are done. Once everything is all good and set, we're going to go over to, we're going to take it off. So take the pillar off. It's going to flip it up like this, and then you're going to move over to the pillar you set down earlier and place this pillar on top of it like so. And here we have your beautiful ceiling. So now it is just time to go ahead and place it inside of the house. And here's where I'm going to show you another common mistake, and I call it common, but it's just because I've done it multiple times now. But you can see here I'm having a hard time centering the ceiling in the room, and I did this multiple times, so I just wanted to show you guys the fix to that. You can see here it's red, it's not turning green, I'm not able to set it down. So I'm gonna go back outside and I'm gonna separate the 2 pillars. So I'm gonna take the first one and I'm gonna make sure that it's facing the way that I want it to face when I bring it inside of the house. And then I'm gonna take the second pillar and make sure that it is lined up exactly with that one. It's not, you know, sideways, that they're both facing the same way, they're not angled, and then set them on top of each other. Now I should be able to bring it into the house and without rotating it at all, just be able to turn off the grid, and it's going to turn green and let me place it. So I did move it around a little bit, just trying to get it exactly where I wanted it, but for the most part, as long as you measured it out, it should get placed, and there we go. You have your very own garden ceiling. I did try to see if there were any ways to remove the pillar, but the only other options are really to replace it with other types of blocks or walls. And so right now in the game, the pillars are the smallest option that I know of, and that's what I would suggest. You can see here, I even just took something I had already builded and I had already built and went and sat it in front of it, and you can't really even tell that it was there. And so here you go. I'm super excited to see what you all come up with. If this video was helpful, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you, and see you soon.